Episode 485 of the TV Dudes, recorded May 2nd, 2024. Knuckles! This week, we're going to discuss the new Paramount Plus series that is related to the highest grossing video game adaptation of all time.
Wait, highest grossing?
Yeah.
That can't be right.
Nope. Knuckles is the show that is going to bridge between Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And 2 was apparently the highest grossing video game adaptation of all time. Like $400 million or something like that.
Okay, but it knocked off the throne something amazing, right?
I mean, did it ever? Yeah, buddy. It dethroned Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Son of a
which
bitch.
was the previous highest grossing, like 300.
I sometimes forget that we have not hit video game movies like we have hit comic book movies.
We really don't, like, that's what that factoid makes me realize.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm thinking comic book movie. No, video game video. So, because the first thing that popped in mind was like, well, didn't Mortal Kombat? I take it back. I hear it.
Yeah, never mind. Fuck it.
Yeah. Anyway. Before we get to all that, I'm Les.
I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes. This week on our social medias, we asked more of the tough questions, and y'all answered. So, why don't we tune in with the TV Dudes?
Did we? Oh, man, I don't even know what we asked this week.
Well, this week, we asked about that show that you just keep saying you'll get to, you promise, but you just don't.
Oh.
You just don't. Everybody's got that stack of shows. Like, yeah, I'll add that show to the list. There is no list.
Got it. Right. Yeah, okay.
Everybody's got that show. I have been saying that I will watch Barry for a couple of years. I would say it's Game of Thrones, but I've been real clear.
Normally, if someone is like on me about it, I will at least watch an episode so that I can be like, yeah, I tried. Now fuck off and don't ask me to watch this anymore.
I was kind of proud of myself. So there's several of these that were like that I was like, well, no, I've watched, I don't know, 6 or 7 BoJack Horseman. I just didn't click for me. Like
me too.
Like some of these shows I have now actually given a shot, and they just
didn't
click.
Yeah, rarely do I ever like just not watch a show. Normally it is like, oh, you never watched BoJack Horseman? Like I watched most of the first season, and I got to tell you, it only gets sadder from there. Well, I mean, that's a bummer. That
sounds hilarious to me. Yeah, I just didn't plug into it.
Man, do I have a show that's like that? I don't think I do. I mean,
I don't think you have one.
One like I'm never gonna watch Night Court. Like,
but you have seen an episode. It's not like you were unaware of.
I'm not like unaware of Night Court.
Yeah, it's not like I'm trying. Like, no, it is a special kind of show format you've never seen, and you got to give it a shot. Like, no, you're aware of 80s sitcoms.
Mm-hmm. I haven't finished The Sopranos, even though I was always meant to.
There's some of them where like I got behind, and then I found out that we've decided collectively as a planet that it shit a bed, and I'm just like,
the big one for you would have been Game of Thrones, but we've all decided that you dodged a bullet on it.
Nobody wants to rewatch that, so I'm good. Yeah, I was kind of sad to see over on what did you guys say?
Yeah,
Danny Doggett said he'll get to Treme eventually. No one believes him. Treme. Jean-Paul Vital says, "Will you though?"
Sassy Jean-Paul
goes with Danny there. Like, man, it's a real slog, and I'd advise you not to watch it. I had a friend who fucking loved that show. Like, Treme was like Kent's favorite show.
Sure.
But he's the only one. He's the only person I know. Dennis McElwain said at the current time, My Adventures with Superman.
Really?
That he knows it's good. I mean, I would assume he's heard it's good.
Well, there's some of those where you let them pile up by the second season.
I've got that, honestly. And I have geeked about stuff so hard that I hear the irony. Like, I know that this is me reaping what I sowed. But when somebody nerds out, like, this is the great, like, this song will change your life, Garden State style, fuck you if I ever listen to that song. Like, I still hate the shins, man.
I think with us, though, Les, is that we're, as TV dudes, and having, only me being the most recent TV dude, even I am, like, the last couple years, I'm like, oh, shit. No, I've tried everything. Like anything notable that anyone would want. Like, I can't say that, like, oh, I'll get to that. I have gotten to it.
Yeah, there are still, I feel like there are still some shows that are in my blind spot where just the barrier to entry, like, I don't know, I've just never started that massive 8 million season thing, but generally not because I'm completely unaware of it. Like, I know everybody loved Beef, and I didn't finish it, but it's not like I didn't.
No, but we tried Beef.
I tried it.
It sucked.
I just didn't like it. I have not watched Baby Reindeer yet. I guess that's the hotness right
Oh, is that the
now.
hottest? Yeah, I heard about that.
But I'm conflicted on it because I just read an article about that's based on a real story. The dude that wrote it and stars in it, it happened to him.
Right.
He had a stalker. His stalker, who so the internet is outed who his stalker is. She's real and found her, and she's like, so none of that went down the way he said it did. Like,
I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna say I'm not shocked by that, considering.
On the one hand, like I read the whole article, and it does sound like that show probably went. She does not sound okay, but also,
I wouldn't if I were making a show about that. I don't know if I would be like if it happened.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't want to star in it. That's
I think
super
what really
weird.
bugged me was his stance on it was just asking the internet, like, hey, please don't try to go find out who the real people are. That's really not what our show's about.
No.
And even the Guardian article was like, well, that's naive as fuck.
Yeah, come on.
You can't.
You know what you were doing.
What?
Like we're.
Let's see.
Yeah. God, I cannot think of one where I'm like completely lost or behind, like that I have not tried, that I have not given a shot yet. Oh wait, no, Dark Crystal. The
Age of Resistance.
Age of Resistance. I've heard it's good. I like the movie, so I know, but for whatever reason, I haven't gotten to.
Never gave it a shot.
Never, yeah. So that one I've actually never tried.
I would recommend it. It has an added villain thing.
I think I just keep forgetting it exists.
Like it has an added creature thing that is unlike anything. It's fucking creepy. Quite good.
Although then again, I guess I would know this. It's a prequel, right?
Yes.
Okay, well I know that doesn't really work out for
right.
fucking Gelflings.
No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. John Paul also said that going off the Treme answer, he had to say the Deuce. That show just had bad timing. Kind of
right.
He waited too long to watch it, and then James Franco imploded.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is probably a newer show. Ansel Elgort can fuck off to hell. So he's probably not going to watch Tokyo Vice.
Oh,
I forgot he's in that.
I forgot about Tokyo Vice. But Ken Watanabe is really good in that, though.
Yeah,
I remember having.
Man, with Tokyo Vice, you just go read the book.
Yeah,
or even the audiobook of it. It's a blast. He says he also knows he should watch Shogun, but it looks boring as fuck. You're not
Shogun's
wrong.
really good.
It does look boring as fuck, though.
Yeah, I mean it has historical drama, and and of course you got to read all of it.
My heart rate slowing down.
I have the exact same thing of like, well, that looks dramatic and important, but it's FX. So FX is going to only let us so many minutes go by before someone gets beheaded or we're fucking.
That's true.
like think of like the FX.
No, if this were AMC's Shogun,
yeah, then we might be in
show
trouble.
It to people to lower their blood pressure. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, Nick, but all that discussion about television put me in the mood for stuff we did watch.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Oh, I see. Now that we've gone, what's on our list? Let's go where we actually.
Yeah. So
watched
instead
this
of those things that we were told were great,
what about these things that we like? What did we choose to watch?
It's not like we don't have time. I watched a ton of shit.
Well, I mean, we had to spare the time to watch Beekeeper. We couldn't watch.
Oh my god, the Beekeeper.
We couldn't watch Prestige TV. We had to watch Jason Statham in The Beekeeper, which I gotta say,
the world is like a hive, Nick.
The country is like a hive.
If you
think about it.
Sometimes some drones have to protect the queen.
We think what he's known as a queen killer.
When I eat this royal jelly, I get the super strength. My hair falls out. I become the Statham.
So The Beekeeper might be the dumbest movie I have seen in a while.
Yeah, that I had fun at and wasn't mad about.
Right. Like at least it.
Right.
Because I've seen a bunch of like one man mission army movies. But the Beekeeper thing in this, that they keep hitting back on, this forced metaphor that they're hitting.
Yeah. Like every single time that it comes up. So he's an
actual why is he an actual beekeeper, though?
Okay, so the beekeepers are a John Wick style, but government. Like they're like a, I don't know. We've seen a bunch of movies like this recently where like there's a protector above the protectors.
There's like they're licensed to just go outside any.
They're U.S.
laws.
Furies. Yeah, whatever. And they're called the beekeepers because the country's like a hive. And oh my God, every time somebody has to give that metaphor, it breaks them out of movie dialogue speak
Even Jeremy Irons
Oh my
has a
God.
scene where he has to go into it, and I'm like, man, if Jeremy Irons can't save what we're doing here, we are fucked. Like, uh, what was insane though was that we looked up the budget, and it was like 40 million, and
Right.
Abigail was
We had
29.
just seen Abigail, which is like 30 million, 28, 30 million.
Yeah.
I don't know where that additional 10 went. $20 million goes to Jason Statham, from what I saw on average. Josh Hutcherson's also in this. He's 2 to 5 million.
It's got to be.
Jeremy Irons has to command
If
more
he-
than Josh Hutcherson, surely.
If he didn't get $1 million, I'm mad on Jeremy
Right.
Irons' behalf.
So like the rest of this was like charity donated, I assume. I have no idea, man. I don't know how they did this.
I'm honestly, I'm like, okay, so I don't know what Hollywood fucking budgeting is always squirrely anyway, but one of you is lying.
Right. Somebody's, man, one of these projects is a...
Someone's smuggling money
Something.
or some tax evasion. Like,
Man.
something's wrong.
I kind of want to see the David Ayers movie about smuggling shit through this movie. So I can't believe David Ayers directed this.
No, the director of Fury.
A Fury.
But then
Fury.
again, it does make sense if you think the director of Suicide Squad.
Right.
Like, okay, so David Ayer is
Not
never
the Suicide Squad, but a
Suicide Squad. But like, but in one level, it does feel like a movie of his. He likes to write movies about one charismatic, like, badass character. And
just, man, there's no arc. He is just badass from start to finish.
Actually, no, that's not true. Most of his characters, like even in Harsh Times and Training Day, he likes to write a character that is complex but ultimately villainous. And like, no, a lot of his movies are more complex.
No, a lot of
Not
them
that
have more of them. Yeah,
Not that they're overly not that they're
no, but
overly.
There's
but
more exploration of
there's a
moral
little more
gray
going
area,
on.
and yeah, this is just Statham's a badass.
There's never a moment where he's in danger.
Okay, so it opens with I don't want to spoil The Beekeeper, but it opens with one of the craziest John Wick's dog type moments.
Holy shit!
That I've ever, just story wise, I can't believe they make the choice. And then
I laughed out loud.
Yeah, and then it just keeps going from there in terms
I'm glad
of like,
I didn't see this in the theater. I would have.
Oh man, I just spoiled it for
seriously
somebody.
have laughed.
Yeah. So to get Beekeeper, I signed up for a channel that no one's heard of but has good stuff on it, MGM Plus.
Yep. Whose shows on it keep getting second seasons, so I mean,
or thirds, and so I don't know who else is watching them, but I'm glad people are, because while we had it for Beekeeper, we also got to go back and rewatch a bunch of Rogue Heroes. Tailing on our Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare watch. Fucking Rogue Heroes is the shit. I love that show. It's about the SAS, similar stuff as Ungentlemanly, kind of the formation of it. It's awesome. It's got great characters. It's got great lines. It is a great World War II show. It got a second season, and it's on a thing called MGM Plus. Google it. While we were there, we also wait, what else was on? From put out a new teaser trailer.
Oh, okay.
Which is also an MGM Plus. So unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to keep MGM Plus for a minute because I think From's coming out pretty soon. I'll need to check the date on that. It might be a ways out. But yeah, great shows. There's a lot of good content on it, and seriously, man, who knows? I thank God they're getting extra seasons, but who's doing this? Who's watching these?
I mean, explain the fucking when HBO is selling off its shirt in order to stay in the black or whatever. MGM Plus is ordering second seasons of its shows.
Right. I mean, I know it's shot in a desert, but still, like,
someone explain this to me.
Rogue Heroes has stunts and gunfire and a bunch of shit. Like, costs some money.
No, also like that has Sophia Boutella has something to do now that we've decided that we've fucked her out of major motion pictures with The Mummy.
Right. Oh man, she should have been The Mummy. Yeah. Somehow became Tom Cruise by the end of that movie.
Right.
It's so weird. So speaking of ghosts, over on Paramount Plus, watched Ghosts. Which continues to be probably my week to week my sitcom fix every week. Just a cute, funny show. Pete discovers a new ghost power this week, or his only ghost power this week. He can leave. I love the idea that Pete has just never tried it.
Never tried.
All the other ghosts can't leave, and they said that you can't, so he just hasn't ever pushed the boundary. And it turns out he can go, so he does. So at the end of this episode, big sea change, at least for one episode. Pete's going to be gone for a moment. I don't know if we're going to follow him to where he's traveling to and see new ghosts, which would be hilarious. This episode, he accidentally gets left in like a Costco.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of ghosts at the Costco.
Sure.
Only they can't leave. And they're like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Like, you don't get new ghosts. Like, if there's new ghosts, there should be cops here.
Man, who dies in a Costco?
There's
Like, what is there?
A fair number of people. So then at night, it's Costco at night. It's like when the lights go off and after dark, it's basically like a ghost fight club.
Oh, wow.
And like there's a bunch, and because you're all going to reform.
Right.
But you can just tear each other apart. And so every night it's just this ghost fight club, and like Pete just has to fucking run. But like there's like two people that like walk around together that are trampled to death at a Black Friday. Okay. One of them's carrying the TV. She's like, but I got it. He's like, yeah, we were going for the same last TV, and she's like, I want it. And the TV's got foot marks all over it, and so does she.
Yeah,
like, it's great. And while I was over there, I also caught up on Elspeth, which I still feel like is a wasted opportunity to not keep her the lawyer's lawyer wonderkind that she is on Good Wife and Good Fight. But
honestly, it's
my crush on Carrie Preston remains undaunted.
It's not telling you. It's telling that I've felt no need to catch up, even though
it's not a show format you really care about.
I was super excited when it first came on, and then there was that long pause, and like
they did themselves no favors by waiting on March Madness. That was stupid.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really that show format. I was just like, okay, I guess there's no difference between her and a Columbo or another detective show now.
No, she's just quirky. Like, she could be Monk.
There's, like, no lawyer stuff going on at all.
Yeah. I feel like it's a wasted opportunity. That said, I'm still watching it. Also, started watching The Offer again. Fuck, I love that show. I don't even love The Godfather as much as I actually love The Offer.
Well, The Offer is not so much about I mean, it is about The Godfather, but mostly it's about, they could be making any movie. It's about the magic of
making movies. Man,
of movie making.
It is so often a crutch that writers fall back on to like, oh man, the screenwriter wrote a movie about screenwriting. Well, or this writer wrote a movie about writing, or this movie maker wrote a movie about the magic of making.
There's
the artist,
definitely some autofellatio going on in a lot of those stories of just like, oh, get off your own dick about the like M. Night Shyamalan keeps making some of his like, oh, a screenwriter or like or one of his villains is a reviewer. Like there's always a screenwriters like, well, write what you know, and that like they've been screenwriting.
I'm a frustrated writer. I'm gonna write a movie about it. Yeah.
Which is why they rarely get any blue collar jobs seemingly right, because like none of them have worked one in at least two decades.
Right. So you have so many shows about the fucking magazine.
Yes.
So I don't know why, or what exactly The Offer does differently, but they manage to run into enough people that aren't in the industry or something. Even the Gulf and Western guys don't. I think it might be that the Gulf and Western guys that are above the Paramount executives, like the multinational conglomerate that owns Paramount at the time, they don't give a fuck about the magic of movies.
They're just the money people.
Yeah. So you constantly have characters that are like, stop bullshitting me. Like, there's no magic here for it.
Right.
But at the same, so you get these moments where the show talks about the magic of movies, and I love that shit. But then you also constantly get this look at how silly these problems are. How much they mean to those people, and they don't make fun of that. But they do acknowledge that this is not a real problem.
I do.
Was it like your biggest worry in the world right now is that a guy named Al Pacino will pretend to be a guy named Michael Corleone, and it's the only thing you care about? And you're right to.
And you're right to, because it's the only thing going on in your life right now that's important.
But you understand why your wife left, right?
Yeah, his wifely, that's right. Because she just barely gives a fuck. I also I find that fascinating. Of Colin Hanks is also a douchebag.
Oh man, like, Lapidus, he's great.
There's a level of like conglomerates and businesses want to get into Hollywood because there's a lot of money to be made there. It's proven like that. It's a money generating machine. But also, it's a money-generating machine that has no guaranteed return on investment or formula that you can throw out.
And so, like, Hank's character really wants to find the moneyballness of it, where you can mathematically make absolutely sure that your movie will be a hit. And you simply cannot. But it drives him insane that he has to rely on Bob Evans, who's entirely, like, feeling it out with his dick, you know?
Right. And like there's some meat in the middle that they need to do on that thing of like you know, I love that he Colin Hanks is the one that comes up with the idea of limited screenings of like of running it through the 3 hour.
He actually comes out with some good ideas.
Yeah.
But you got to get him even around to helping you think about shit. Because like his initial instinct is to come in and brainstorm why you should just stop doing this.
Right.
like I think the one I just watched, they're about to get screwed. Like Gulf Western's tired of being in the Paramount business, and they're going to sell it off. And that changeover is almost certainly going to freeze or kill every movie in production.
Yeah.
And the only reason the sale doesn't happen is because the fucking mob cozies up to
That's right.
Ruddy. And like they ambush him basically at a press conference. And like it looks like Paramount's in bed with the mob for just a second, and it makes the stock price crater for a week. But all the deals walk away from the table. They can't sell Paramount.
I do remember Joe Colombo of okay, Joe, so they're not letting me make the movie. Like, oh, we'll see about that. No, wait, Joe, don't like.
Right.
No, I said you could make the movie, not they couldn't make the movie. Like,
man.
And he just decies like he fucking runs the
Hey,
trucks.
does anybody know whose truck that is? That's just parked in the middle of the shot. Like, no, man. Well, nobody will move it.
And when I ask someone to, they give me this weird, afraid look.
Right.
What is going on?
He peed himself and dropped the keys. I don't know. Yeah. God, it's such a fun show. Also caught up on some 30 Rock. Watched some Parks and Rec. Of course, we watched Boy Kills World for Patreon. We also caught up on The Rookie, which took a week off but came back. Very Rookie-like. We're in a major baby season now.
Oh God.
We watched. Let's see. I watched a couple episodes of the Bon Jovi story. Thank You, Good Night over on Hulu. It is the first. I don't know why it's 4 episodes. The first 2 episodes got us through New Jersey, which is the end of any Bon Jovi that I'd heard really. And there's 2 more episodes that I'm not going to watch. It's fun though. He's an insane person. He's like 60 years old and rich and the most workaholic motherfucker I've seen in a while. It's insane. He's an insane person. Seems like a nice guy, but I bet he's a hard boss.
I watched.
You caught up on Reacher finally.
Yeah, and kind of like watching Rogue Heroes kind of got me into it too. Of like, okay, let's go find a pseudo military like badass thing to watch as well.
It solved problems with largeness. Yeah.
Alan Richardson on Gentlemanly Warfare. I hope that gets him some more movie roles too, because he's really like he's got the acting chops behind it, and he's got like a unique physique, in like the Rock way of like, okay, yeah, he can play multiple characters like the Rock cannot.
Right. No, Richardson can be serious, can be silly.
Like he can be different people rather than, and not to say that like, hey, we need the Rocks.
He's always going to cut the same silhouette. You can't just put him in normal clothes and pretend like he's not the size of a house. But
he can be a silly Swedish Nazi killer with a bow. And the ultra serious.
When he waves that axe in front of the window, hey! Is that your blood? No. Why would it?
Hello.
I hope not. Let's see. On top of that, I think you also watched some Killing Eve.
Yeah, I had not finished it, and I don't know if I'm gonna watch all of the first season again. But I was like, let me just get reacquainted with the first episode of like, and I remember I'm like, yeah, Killing Eve is really weird and insane as far as.
Well, realizing that Sandra Oh's character is as crazy as Villeneuve.
From Jump Street. Like, it takes no time for like, oh, wow, you're not...
You just don't expect her to be.
You're bad at this. You're bad, you're not...
I don't know. I don't think I've seen very many shows that really got into the fact that, like, if you're profiling these people, you are also weird.
Other than Hannibal.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess there are shows that get into that. This one just seems to be gleeful about it.
Well,
where Hannibal's like, oh no, I'm tragically like him. Sandra Oh's like, I think we could match on Tinder.
And it gets into the fucking I want to fuck you part of it faster than the Hannibal does.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Like she has like describing in like the second episode, like she had soulful eyes and just like her like
man,
fuck are you talking about?
Can you keep it professional in the reports, please? Yeah.
Yeah, and like their dickhead boss is like, if that fires them, I'm like, no, but he's right though. You have to fire her. She broke so many laws. You can't do that.
We also kept up on X-Men 97.
Right, I forgot about that. So,
which has more crazy ass Sentinel fight after last episode's road murder.
Well, honestly, this isn't the deal breaker for me. I've seen this in a lot of superhero shows, but of course, one of them took out the entire team, took Rogue out in one hit, and she's still in a coma about it.
Right.
And then suddenly, now there's
7 or
10
8
of them
show up to kill her in a coma,
and now suddenly we can just cut them up, like
we can just fight them. Yeah,
okay,
and this happens.
Sure,
Man, people lose track of the power set a lot.
That happens. It's the ninja rule.
And similarly, we get previously on stuff that just assumes that we spent time on a relationship that clipped by like a motherfucker, because this is a crazy short season.
They can't sell what they want to sell here. As far as the UN chick as the traitor,
Val. Yeah.
Val, I'm like, well, I didn't even recognize that she was part of it. And then she wasn't part of it because she was not supposed to be on Genosha, I guess. Like, that was not like, hey, I guess I wasn't supposed to be. I'm in a fucking cast. I didn't know that was going to happen. And then they want to sell this Magneto was right thing.
Well, that what happened in Genosha, like, as terrified as everyone was, no one looked surprised. That like we fucking knew that humans would eventually.
Obviously putting it to the Holocaust and like just any time, like, yep, well, humans suck, and they use the threat of like Genosha, the terrorist attack on Genosha is what inspires humans to overclock and basically like, oh, well, now we're afraid of what they're going to do to us in response, so let's fuck them up first. And I'm like, what? Like, normally the reverse Black Op thing would be to have a human terrorist, like a mutant terrorist blow up a human city.
Right, false flag it that way.
False flag it that way. But now it's like, the only thing I liked about it was that Bastion explained it at some point.
Man, and his explanation was dark. His dialogue is the most natural on the the show.
Bastion is the only person that talks like a regular human, which is weird, because he's a fucking robot baby from the future. Why is he the only one that talks like he's from this century? Or even from the 90s. Naturally.
All of you idiots need to stop. Like, because his explanation that like, well, damn it, when the whole world thought Xavier died, it bought the mutants a whole lot of sympathy, and that kind of fucked my plan up for a minute. So then I was like, oh, well, we'll just push it into apathy. Yeah, like I can't unring a bell, but I can ring so many bells that you'll just start ignoring bell ringing.
Because you can't think. I'm like, that eventually, it took too long to get there.
Right,
because
that actually clicked.
That eventually sold it to me.
That's a dark fucking villain plan, Jesus.
Yeah, because...
but the main thing, all my grievances with this show still stand. I think the dialogue's weird. I think sometimes the pacing of the animation's a little slow. There's little things that... It's not my flawless platonic ideal of a show, the way that we seem to be discussing it on the internet. Mm-hmm. But... that is not to say that I don't love the shit out of it. If I'd been a kid when this was on, I'd have been so grateful for this fucking show.
Jean Grey being mom to Cable for a minute
was great. Hilarious. Her buckling him into the thing was hilarious.
They don't fucking earn it, but Nightcrawler picking up those swords.
That's what I was going to mention. I don't give a shit if they earned it or not. That was the greatest 5 minutes of television for the last decade for me.
That was awesome.
I got to see both the lines were great. Wolverine, like, why do you deny the inevitable?
Bitch, I got six reasons, pal.
And then
no,
the double.
You have 9.
9. Oh my god! And the
do you get it?
Do you get it's a German play on words?
Logan, do you get it because I am German? Yes. Fucking Kurt. God damn it! Let's just kill Sentinels, please.
Blue Devil. Yeah, no, they even give him the like standing like 1 foot in front of the other, Errol Flynn style, like both swords out and the third sword in his tail. It's fucking great.
But what I realize is that
love it so much.
There's months going on between episodes, and yet sometimes they pretend that that's not happening. Like, where's Jubilee been then?
Right?
Has she been gone for months? Because
Beto's parents suck. Jesus.
Because like she's been off with Beto. I'm like, yeah, she has actually been. She's been absent for like the last 2 to 3 episodes, at least in the X-Men storyline.
Well, I don't understand the timeline of doing Life Death, what feels like, I know this is a short season, but it feels like ages ago in the plot, and Storm's still not back with her powers.
It's been 3 episodes since like the end of she's gone 2 full episodes now, having not shown up, even though
she's flying around somewhere fucking off.
Yeah, and it's not like, hey,
she not fly past a TV and see anything about Genosha?
Everyone knows where Genosha is. You don't have to fucking be a genius to figure out where to, like...
You should see the fucking smoke plume from orbit.
And yeah, then Magneto fucking doing the pole EMP thing and taking it to it.
Man, I felt bad because like that's pretty badass. Like the Magneto, like I'm done with this shit, and just like wiping the planet is a cool power flex. But right before we watched it, you were like, "Man, yeah, I'm ready to see Magneto and Storm just fucking Omega class wail on some Sentinels." And I was like, "Me too, buddy. It is not gonna happen in this episode."
Damn it!
Oh my god, no.
If I never see Cable again, I will be like,
Body Slide 1.
I get why we do him. I get why we do Age of Apocalypse and all that. But honestly, I'm so...
Like, if you can do Days of Future Past without him, fucking...
Then do it.
You
He's
can do it.
so complicated and he doesn't make any sense. Like...
And eventually he's gonna lead to Strife.
Right. Oh, forgot about Strife. God, like, I know you're a bigger X-Men fan than me, and it's because this stuff... You know what? You know why you're a bigger X-Men fan than me? Because you're a bigger fan of time travel than me.
Right. Well, and I'll be real. At some point, bigger X-Men fan just becomes more X-Men lore.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're gaining more stuff you like.
No.
It's like, I mean, like the world of Dungeons and Dragons has a ton of shit. We don't love all of it.
Sure.
But
what's X-Men's version of 3.5?
Oh man. Probably varies for different people, but yeah, there's better and worse storylines.
Or 4? Which is the edition that everyone didn't
Was
like?
that 4?
I think it was 4.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
so
you know
bad.
what? Yeah, it was 4.
Ah,
that everyone
let's
hated.
see. But the show that nobody's watching, but everybody should, and everybody should love, that we watched, the Chucky season 3 finale.
Woo!
Oh my god. So a couple episodes ago, Chucky nuked the North Pole because fuck Santa.
Fuck Santa!
And then Chucky died right then. And then Chucky went into the spirit world, which is populated with a ton of ghosts because the White House is a fucking killing field. And at the end of the last episode, they had decided to kill Jake with one syringe, wait 5 minutes, wake him up with the other magic Secret Service fucking syringe or whatever. Totally into it. Love it. Both of them have skull and crossbones on them. They're great syringes. It's awesome. We're doing it. So they kill Jake.
Well, one has a skull and crossbones, one has a smiley face.
Right, a smiley face. So they kill Jake, and this episode, Jake's in the spirit world. Of the White House, like walking around, sees his dad. This episode's called Final Destination. We get to see Devon Sawa put a little bit of padding on and play the dad from episode 1 of season 1. Yeah. Which is fucking great. The first kill of the whole show. And then
we watch the highlight reels from the previous seasons.
We get a highlight reel of the previous season, which
There's
is
a bunch of different versions of Chucky.
Great way to slip in a clip show. And honestly, then all the versions of Chucky were amazing. We got Kurt's Chucky, we got Buff Chucky, we got Good Chucky.
Now, hear me out. Like with Fiona Dorff being able to play a version of her dad that is just genuinely weirdly convincing.
Right. Can the Dorff family keep this going forever?
When Brad Dourif inevitably leaves us, and the world will be lesser for it.
Oh yes.
But when it inevitably happens, can Fiona Dorff just become the new voice of Chucky in a weird, like,
dude, if not, man, Jake does a good one.
Jake's not bad.
But no, I'm with you. I want Chucky to run forever. I love at the end of this when they do the standard season recap of like all the kills and everything, and also make it a straight out plead for season 4.
Yes. As I've gotten older, I have gotten to the point of like, let's end things. Let's end stories.
Not this one.
But I do like that there is at least one franchise where I'm like, no, never.
No, it should run forever.
Ever. I don't want this ever to end. Like I want this to be like an X-Men, like not unlike an X-Men writer that has to sit down and go, hey, write me a new story about the X-Men. A new story?
Like, man... No,
okay, well, they get stuck in an alternate that already happened. God damn it. Okay.
Or what if the 3 main kids were now dolls? That happened.
Shit.
Also, those dolls were... So this episode, we end with a new status quo. We got Tiffany and Chucky back to dolls.
Yes.
We got Caroline, who they've been looking for, like the live little sister kid. She's absolutely the Charles Lee Ray now. Like, I mean, like, she's not possessed or anything, but she's
also
she's the evil little kid.
Their dolls definitely, like, whether or not they're just flesh versions, but they have very flexible and usable tongues.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, why do you mention that? Like, because...
Oh, man. John Waters appears as the creator of all
Yes.
the good guy dolls who makes these new
Correct
dolls
me if
for
I'm
them.
wrong. Did we kill John Waters in a previous Chucky
No,
movie?
apparently we did not.
Did we not?
That is not true. We have. We
No,
absolutely have.
We
absolutely
have done it.
He
He
played
was in
another role.
Seed and Chucky.
Yes.
Seed and Chucky.
Yes, you played another role on the show.
Yes.
Devon Sawa style.
The one. Yes, back when Chucky got real gay for the first time.
Anyway, yes, no, he has appeared before. And the kids, so the kids are now trapped in dolls.
Yes.
And it looks like Nika,
Fantastic.
he got the jump on Nika.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's gonna we cut away.
Nika
she's
she's
pretty
feisty.
fucking resourceful, so
Yeah, she's feisty.
he may not be ready. He's an older man.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm so sad that it's over. I'm so glad it came back.
Yeah,
Chucky's the best show. The best show.
just amazing stuff. I don't even care that we didn't even get an answer for the Secret Service guy. That like whatever his plan, like he's just
Gil,
sort of
I don't
blowing up
care.
the. Okay, I guess we'll take care of that in the next season, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless
Probably
we
not.
get
It's
unless we
Chucky.
get bored.
Probably just
and,
gonna
like,
move on. Burn the White House down. The whole White House is gone.
I also love that he's in Jake's body, and like I'm like, well,
Yeah.
and I'm
For
like,
just a minute, he was in Jake's body. That
and
was
someone
hilarious.
finally announced like Jake is jacked.
Oh, that was great that Chucky finally is the one that mentions it. Also, I do feel like they must have had a Chucky competition between the actors and just
Yeah.
decided because Jake's Chucky is hilariously on,
Yes,
just perfect.
yeah, he's real good. He's
It's
for the
great.
minute, like, but it's only gonna happen for a minute because you, like, everyone know if you've ever watched a Chucky movie, you
Any
know,
Child's Play.
like he could not be cool for more than
Nope.
like 10 minutes.
Nope, he'd get away with so much more shit if he could just hold
He-
it together.
Man, he would be able to get some shit done if he could like hold shit together.
And let's see. I think the only other thing we watched was because we watched Knuckles and
Sure.
were baffled by the amount of backstory that we were clearly missing.
do you want to save that for when we talk about Knuckles? Or
Yeah, we should.
Consider I don't wanna
we'll
give-
say that
yeah.
because we also watched Sonic 2 just to catch up on that. But we'll
Mhm.
talk about that in a minute when we get to talking about
Mhm.
Knuckles. Right now
yes,
feels like a good time to mention that if you haven't joined us over on patreon.com/tvdudes, you can throw down $1 an episode and get some bonus content every single week.
yes, you can support us at patreon.com/tvdudes. You're only charged for the bonus eps, so for $4 a month, just $1 a week, you'll get double the pod. This week we have a review from our very own Danny Doggett.
Yes, at slightly higher levels, you can get even cooler stuff. One of the cool things that you can get
Yes.
is the ability to submit reviews that we will impart your wisdom
Uh-huh.
upon the podcast listening world.
Correct me. Has Danny done this? Already given
He
this
has.
one?
He,
Okay.
we reviewed Physical 100, season
That's
2,
right.
episodes 1 through 4.
It's true.
We were in full agreement.
Well, what's this week?
This show is a show I've not heard of. Go Go Loser Ranger.
I'm sorry, what?
Go Go Loser Ranger.
Okay, before
Episodes
you
1
even
through
say
3.
anything,
You're on board, I know.
I'm in.
You're sold.
I'm in, baby.
Here's the review.
What?
How long can you withstand the boot of your oppressor upon your neck? This is the question Fighter D must ask himself when faced with a weekly slaughter from the Power Rangers. When
What?
every other goon has accepted compliance, D decides that just maybe they might be the main character. No easy task for sure, as the Red Ranger leader has as much empathy for these monsters as you would a spider.
Oh my god.
D is not exactly likable, and he has no grand plan of living in peace or having a proper nation for his people, but 13 years of being disintegrated is enough to get you to want him to take down the Power Rangers, who
What?
themselves don't get the Homelander treatment, but are probably as greedy and vain. I'd say
Aw.
from 3 episodes, this is making it on the
Okay.
weekly rotation.
Oh wait, so are you telling me that the premise of this show is that it's from the perspective of one of the monsters that the teenagers
have
beat
been
up
disintegrating for 13
for
years.
13 years and that they have to fight the Sentai team?
Yes.
Fucking in,
Yeah, this
baby.
has got some Power Ranger Wreck-It Ralph energy.
Is
it
this
sounds like.
this has to be anime. If the main character is a monster, it probably has to.
I honestly don't know whether I want it to be
if
animated
it's Sentai,
or whether I want it to be
oh,
Sentai.
If it's Sentai, that's even better.
I don't think it's Sentai or sure.
God damn it!
But I don't know. Go Go Loser Ranger 1 through 3, man. We're excited.
Either way,
Nick's
that's
excited enough for
fucking
the two of us.
hilarious. What's it called? Go Go Loser Ranger?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Like, can they legally call it that?
I don't know.
That's Go Go Loser Ranger. Like, I guess like we changed a word. We changed a
It's my
word.
new show. Fuck you, Superman.
We changed a word. You can't get us on this.
Batman's a dick.
I'm like, I would.
Was it the Batman the Fascist TV show?
Yeah. I would say that didn't work so well for JoJo. Of
Right.
What?
Master Tom Petty?
No, but it's Ton Petty.
Ah.
We changed a letter. It's like, guys, you named a character AC/DC. No, Master AC/DC,
AC/DC.
and we phonetically spelled it.
It's totally different.
That's totally. Not when you say it out loud, it isn't.
All right, we're going to have to check that out. Thank you for that review and that recommendation. Our actual Patreon episode this week will discuss the new Bill Skarsgård movie, Boy Kills World. But that's all going to be over on patreon.com/tvdudes. For our main course this week, let's get our warrior on with everybody's favorite echidna. Did I say that right? He's an echidna. Knuckles.
Hey, buddy. Isn't it great to finally relax?
I am an echidna warrior. I only remain on Earth because I made a vow to you and the Fox. So I made myself at home.
Nope, we are not turning our living room into some kind of gladiator fighting pit. What is Ozzy doing here?
He will be challenging his greatest enemy.
Is that our mailman?
This is not a place of battle, so I will begin my quest. Come, Wade.
Well, most people think I'm a joke.
I do not make jokes. I make warriors. Let's go get him.
So this is like you said, the bridge between the second Sonic movie and the third Sonic movie that will be coming out this summer.
Which we assume will involve Shadow, for reasons we'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah. But I do love that, like, oh, Shadow, the evil Sonic or opposite of Sonic. I'm like, wait, isn't Knuckles the opposite of Sonic?
I see why you would think that, because Sonic's blue and Knuckles
is red.
And Sonic's feet are the thing, and Knuckles'
fists are the thing.
And Sonic's, he's fast, is it?
He's fast, and then Knuckles is strong.
Strong, that's the one. I can see where I can see it.
Okay.
Okay. But Shadow is black, which is clearly the opposite of blue, and also fast.
Sure. Well,
so Shadow's, man.
He also uses guns
at some point. Okay. So Sonic's got a real Flash villain vibe at this point.
Oh yeah.
I guess you can't call him Godspeed. I don't know. We've got Egghead going. That's fucked up. Eggman.
Eggman.
So this movie, despite all we've just said about its connective tissue, or this show, despite all we've just said about its connective tissue to these two movies, exists in its own little pocket where Gunn is involved, the organization.
Yeah.
But mostly it's about helping Wade
Whipple,
Adam Pally's dipshit cop from the movies, helping him with a bowling tournament. You
will
heard me right. It's a bowling tournament show. There are whole episodes where there is no echidna.
Yep.
Echidna. And spiny anteater. Can I just say that? Where there's no Knuckles, and I got to tell you, you won't care. It will not bother you.
So there's Knuckles is basically trying to live life in
the real world.
In the real world, and apparently it didn't come across this way until we watched the second movie, but like they've been adopted by James Marsters and his girlfriend, and like so I guess they're the kids now, but that's
they
Sonic
keep calling them their kids.
Tails thing. And so Knuckles goes on an adventure with Wade to like help him become like a warrior, a true warrior.
Because Wade's just gotten kicked off his bowling team right before the big tournament in Reno,
and he's being hunted. Like they end up being hunted by two agents from Gunn that seem to have gone off book. Like they're not technically with Gunn anymore. They're going to sell Knuckles' power or whatever to Rory McClane, who is from Game of Thrones, the Hound, who is actually pretty scary in this. Like they're like, and you failed me for the last time. Like now the price is negotiated. Now you'll just be doing this for your lives. And I'm like, this show has a red superpowered fucking echidna
like a ball game mascot in its center.
So and
yeah,
Idris Elba as Knuckles is really like. When we see other shows and
movies,
he's
very strident.
When we see other movies and shows where they hire, famous voice cast, and I go, well, way to waste of money. Like you're gonna get a better, more versatile performance from an actual voice actor, right? That you're not gonna. Idris Elba is a fucking.
He earned the money here.
He's earning his money. Like fucking every time he does this thing of like, I love this soup of matzo balls. Like,
yes. Oh man, all of it. So. If you, like we did, thought Idris Elba was wasted in Sonic 2,
yes,
they make great use of him here. Even with what I said earlier about there being whole episodes with barely any echidna.
Well, at least in this time when they ditch out from Knuckles, they don't go to a useless wedding. We Man, they go to
No, in this one,
there's a Jack Sinclair episode, and Jack
Yes.
Sinclair is the other
Julian Barrett from Mighty Boosh and Nathan Barley and a bunch of other shit is hilarious.
honestly, he's
steals the show
to the point where I'm like I don't like.
Why are we
honestly,
not
I
in a
don't-
Jack?
Why am I not watching a whole show about this guy?
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
And they do a whole episode basically without Knuckles or mostly without the CG animals so that they can save on budget.
Well,
and it's all told in a puppet backstory.
So Knuckles can go to like an Avatar State Warrior land.
Yes.
Where with the ancestor, with
Mhm.
Christopher Lloyd as another
As his
as
grandfather or
grandfather,
dad,
whatever,
head
tells
of
him what to
tribe.
do. And when Wade really needs to, he manages to go there to become a warrior.
Yeah. Well,
And-
he has to meditate in the back of a
That whole thing is spectacular. Like he's been captured by his old
Jack
bowling
Sinclair.
partner, Jack Sinclair, who's a bounty hunter
Mhm.
as his day job, and he's got a stretch Hummer, and then behind the stretch Hummer is like a little circus trailer thing, like bars, like a monkey cage,
electrified where he keeps his
with
bounties.
like caution, criminals inside. Another criminal caught by Jack Sinclair.
Sinclair. Yeah, it's
amazing, amazing.
a lot of stuff going on, and
And so when he goes to the spirit realm, when Adam Pally does, the entire story that they tell him to teach him this lesson is done like some kind of like hugely complicated stage production, like a Broadway play.
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
It's fucking amazing.
I don't care if it was done. I don't care if the choice was made purely to save money. I would have argued for it with money laying there on the table, ready to go.
Yeah.
Like it is the best choice, the best.
And then they have Michael Bolton sing
So we kind of wrap up the Jack Sinclair thing, and we like mid-season, there's only 6 episodes of this thing, and we were like, oh, I'm brokenhearted, that's the best part of the show, and we replace him with Adam Pally's dad in the show, another bowler played by Carrie Elways.
Oh my god. So Carrie Elways in this show as Pistol Pete Whipple.
Yes.
So Jack Sinclair might be the most Floridian America fuck yeah character that I've seen in a show in a long time. And then when he inevitably leaves the show and we're all brokenhearted, we get replaced with the most British.
He's so British. His bowling ball has a teacup.
It's a
and
teacup
saucer in it.
His entrance is he's wearing a British Union Jack as a like coat with a top hat.
He's got a Union Jack on the top of the top hat,
and he's hamming it up is not.
Oh, that doesn't do justice to
Like on set,
prosciuttoing it up.
On set, like it must have been a constant like Carrie Elways. Like I would like
more.
I
This
would
has
have
to be
yelled,
too much. No,
Carrie, I swear to God, more. Carrie, can you fall British?
More Britisher.
Like
Britisher than that.
he falls with his hands doing this jazz hand.
Oh my
thing.
god.
Oh,
It is amazing. It is the best thing since Michael Caine was Austin Powers' dad.
yes.
Like it is fan-fucking-tastic.
And honestly, it's what helps. Like, because honestly, the Knuckles and Adam Pally moments are fun and they're funny. Him hanging out with the Jewish mom that pronounces it Knuckles.
Knuckles with an
Knuckles.
H, even in the subtitles.
Even in the
Dr.
subtitles.
Channing is his mom.
His weird sister that stabs him with a fork.
Yes, the weird FBI.
So
That's how we say it.
even the villains are pretty fun when they show
Kid
up.
Cudi and I can't remember the other actress's name, but yeah, the guys from Gun.
But there's some moments where we have to ditch Knuckles and focus on like this is Adam Pally's story, not really Knuckles. And honestly, that might bother some people. But it's packed with so much Carrie Elways and
Just madcap energy, crazy ass choices at every turn. Like this is still underselling just how nuts.
Paul. Oh, you forgot
Everything
to
to
mention
the backs.
one of my favorite things ever. Paul Scheer and
Oh my god, it's on the Ocho.
it's
The whole bowling tournament is on ESPN 8.
the Ocho.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my god, did they just sneak in a dodgeball reference of like
He started out on ESPN 25.
25, and I hope to get to
ESPN 7.
Ambiente 6. Now it seems here, Pete, that we actually have had an extraterrestrial break up a bowling tournament way back in the 80s.
But this is much more fun.
Seems much more fun.
Oh my god.
Man, the fact that the crowd doesn't yell and cheer to where everyone can hear everything anyone's saying, like including the announcers and like This guy's taking a long time to actually go.
Yeah, this is actually a lot longer than a bowling tournament should take. That's right. Yeah, man.
He seems to be monologuing, Steve.
Very unusual. I loved everything about this show. The only real problem with it was the very first episode left us feeling
lost,
so fucking lost and bad. Like, I had no idea how crazy, intricate, and weird the backstory, how much backstory and lore they'd be trying to reference. There's so many things that are callbacks. I had no idea. So throughout the whole show and in the second movie, Knuckles has a thing for grapes.
Yeah.
That is an in-joke from an internal document at Sega when they introduced the character before he had a name. That's how fucking weird and deep the Sonic jokes go in this. And you will feel confused if you are above the age of 15.
Yeah, you're gonna be, well, or if you're just not into that Sonic.
Not into the Sonic, yeah. I don't
also, there's a couple things like Ellie Taylor, Sassy Smurf from.
Oh, that's right.
From fucking
That's who she
Ted
is.
Lasso.
That's
yeah.
who she is. Yes.
They intimate that she's gonna be like, and you don't know anything about me. They intimate a whole thing.
I hope she's the shadow villain.
Like
I hope she's with him.
Yeah, because they intimate a whole thing with her that does not
come back.
Does not come back or get resolved.
No, we have a lot of bowling to do.
Same thing with Kid Cudi. Like Kid Cudi gets a little bit like he's not as complex. It's just like I love beating up on superpower
This
people.
gives me a chance to beat up on superpower people,
which is weird in the context of Sonic's universe. How many superpower people are in this universe?
There's really just two, and they both look like they're both.
And they're both not really people.
They're technically
fucking
they're alien hedgehogs and echidnas, and we know that they are canonically considered children.
I guess. Also, the show can like. So I guess the general populace does not know about these things, but yet no one seems.
Sonic seems to take a lot of selfies and has a cell phone and seems to be posting them somewhere.
Yeah, and also but also we think Knuckles he's here for the mascot.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Oh yeah. There's people totally think he's. But also, man, because we were so confused on the lore, we went back and watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We didn't watch the first one yet. I probably will, but. It wasn't the movie was not as good as this series.
Yeah.
But it is the one that introduces Knuckles. It also, Eternal style, is the whole world just ignoring that giant robot that attacked and like mustache slapped tails out of the sky. That was fucking awesome. But seriously, do we just ignoring that? Like Eternal style, so the world has a giant hand coming out of it, right?
Right.
And like, we came away from the second movie. It's not that the second movie does not have this energy or that this feels out of place. The show makes all the correct choices. The movie makes 50% of the correct choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is everything good and none of the wrong choices. Fucking awesome series.
The
can't believe I'm saying that.
It's just
Lord.
It's legitimately amazing and so weird in a fun, like, just out of nowhere. We forgot to mention that after he comes out of the land of like the warrior land, and he has the song sung to him, and he learns the wrong lesson the first time and then gets zapped back, has to listen to the rest of the song and then come back. So he comes back, and then Jackson Claire's like, I challenge you to a duel. And so they get on one motorcycle and one bicycle, and of course Jackson Claire has double katanas somewhere, and basically do this joust thing while riding at each other with katanas.
He has to borrow a bike off some kids that are just watching.
Like, it is seriously insane.
Yeah. No, the whole hero's journey of it, everything. Every choice this show made was shockingly good. We watched the first episode and we're like, I don't know, man. I maybe regret having put this on our list. This is kind of confusing. Maybe I should have seen these movies and I don't want to.
Honestly, what sucks about it is that I think I don't like Sonic.
I don't like Sonic.
Like,
he's the problem with the movie.
Ben Schwartz Sonic.
I love Ben Schwartz. I don't
annoying.
like Sonic. But I watched the second episode of Knuckles and was sold. We finished the rest of it that morning. Boom.
Yes.
Amazing show.
Well, he gets kidnapped by those guys, and then Adam Pally gets a whole like dream sequence where he gets like to have a Bond moment. And
at the start of episode 2, we're away from the family, we're away from movie 2.
Yeah.
Like, we're in our own world. It's only that first episode that has any explain what connective tissue this is.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't believe, I'm gonna say this, but like Idris Elba is pulling everything he needs to do for Knuckles as a straight man character, with the fish out of water stuff that he's doing, and how his lesson at the end of making a friend out of Pete,
Mhm,
or no, not
mhm.
Pete. Fucking Wade.
Wade. Yeah.
And when it pays off at the end, they do the deal of like he Cyrano de Bergerac's his first conversation with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
So then later when they do the elevator thing, he gives Knuckles the heads up with the same like again. I keep praising, like, it feels like every week I praise a show for doing setup,
simple
just
knock it up,
simple
knock it down.
setup
Yeah.
and knockdown, but it's stuff that I don't see other
So,
things do.
This one thing that this show did that shocked me. Carrie Always, Wade's dad, left them in a TJ Maxx. Just
Oh my god!
walks out of a TJ Maxx, never comes back, leaves his family. It is the trauma of Wade's childhood. It's the worst thing. Stockard Channing's never forgiven him.
Yeah.
Right? Real bad.
Mhm.
It's real bad. So when he meets his dad again, Wade gives him another shot. Like, and Carrie Always straight up apologizes. I fucked up.
In a way that
you
feels
I believed
feels
it.
very believable.
Right.
Like,
and then the show does an amazing thing. Stockard Channing, his mom, Wade's mom,
mm-hmm.
comes up to him and is like, "Honey, I saw you talking to your dad in the hotel bar,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want you to know that no matter what he said, what he did was really bad, and he is a terrible person." And Wade's like, "I'm going to stop you, Mom. I don't need you to forgive him, and I understand what he did to you was terrible, and that's
and that it's past the point of repair.
My relationship with him is not set in stone.
Yeah,
and I have to move forward. How I as a kid whose parents were divorced, who had a shitty dad.
I don't
I never see that played out like that.
I don't see any movies.
I've had to have that. I've had to have that
conversation
of like, Mom, I'm not mad at him the way you are.
Well, yeah, you had to have like a real conversation with a loved one about someone, like another loved one, and about how you're going to deal with something versus them.
It handles it so well that when later Elwes hilariously and unbelievably betrays them again, like seriously betrays them.
Yeah, it
fully works because now it's on Wade's terms. Wade's not hating his dad because of a favor to his mom. Wade has no, we worked it out, and then you betrayed me again. This one's new. This is our beef now.
Yes.
I so rarely see it in a show, and you know where I saw it? Fucking Knuckles. On Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus, this kid's show. Yeah, it's...
People wonder why I watch shit under my fucking reading level sometimes. Jesus Christ, this is why.
Yeah.
Because Civil War didn't do shit for me.
Fuck you, like Civil War.
This actually showed me, like, a strong relationship between people.
Well, I think it's important that children's media, like, not that it all has to have a moral lesson, because that's what gave us shit in the 80s, but like, what did you say the other day? Like that, this doesn't need to be in a children's movie, like, but your response was, but do kids need to hear it?
Right.
And I feel like that's an important...
Yeah, that like, well, that shouldn't be in a child's... Like, yeah, well, are there kids out there right now who are going through it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, then that means like it's the same argument you make for adult art, or like grown-up movies. It sounds like adult films. It's the same argument you make for like real Academy Award-winning movies. Like, is it within the scope of human experience? Then you could have a story told about it if you do it right. Is it within the... Like, I know none of us want terrible things to ever happen to kids, but since bad things do, can kids' media not show them how to get through it?
Man, even things they don't know they're learning. Like, I remember like struggling with depression. The thing I think about when I struggle is always Artax from Neverending Story, of just that feeling of like being stuck, and not even that he can't get out, he can't try.
Sadness touching memories in Inside Out.
Yes, that's like...
That gave me a way to explain to people what was happening.
That's what's important about it. If you can articulate that concept and feeling to a child,
you can just tap the person next to you in the movie, touch your nose, and point at the screen while you're crying.
Yeah,
and your friend gets you more.
That's to break it down in such simple things, and honestly, to see Knuckles do that with this estranged, deadbeat dad figure, while having it be Carrie Elwes as
it's still hilarious.
He's a parody of himself. And yet when that moment happens in the bar or whatever, it feels like when he says he's not going to take those autographs. Like, no, not when I'm with family.
Mm-hmm.
It really hit because Wade takes a minute of like, he acknowledged me as family and put his stardom or what he was valuing over me at first, and is now putting me first.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Granted, he betrays it again later, but it fully sells.
It really sells so that the turn hurts later. Like, yeah, in a way that you and me were watching it, and we were both like, I think I said to you, I'm like, man, fuck you, Carrie Elways. I know you're a piece of shit. Like, they didn't hire Carrie Elways to like do like to not be a piece of shit here. But you're so goddamn charming. I want to believe.
I want to believe it. Damn. Yeah, this is gonna hurt.
Because and you're with the character. You're with Wade. You want to believe it. Yeah, I can't. God, Knuckles is so good. It's so weird.
Yeah,
I can't describe to you how I don't see quote unquote grown up shows deal with concepts like this or remain this funny or do basic storytelling
half as well.
Like the found family familyness of it, without having to change Knuckles as a character at all.
Yeah, fantastic work. I would recommend everybody go watch it, even if you don't think you were gonna dig it. Give it a couple episodes. It's a blast.
Highly recommend.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for us. Tune in next week when we talk about a show I've not picked yet.
Oh shit.
Oh no. We will have to look through and see what we're gonna talk about next week.
Sure.
Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself on the calendar.
Reindeer boy or whatever.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll talk about baby reindeer.
Baby reindeer.
We'll give that a shot. Yeah, barring nothing else cool coming out. Keep a look on our socials. That's where we'll tell you what we're gonna do next week. And until next time.
TV Dudes out.